My hair is getting so long, it literally looks like a rat's nest, and I'm about ready to have my mom just like chop it, but I never let her touch my hair, so I'm so nervous. It's literally driving me insane. Like, this is the longest it's ever been, and it just looks like a rat's nest. Hey guys, it's Michaela, and you are watching FunsizedStyle. I don't even know what I'm going to title this video, and I don't even know really where I'm going to go with this video. I haven't really put any thought into what I'm going to say. I mean, I know like a little bit, some things I want to talk about, but I really just wanted to make this video to share my heart with you guys and kind of how I'm doing in the state of the world right now. I received so many DMs from you guys, and you guys have been so amazing, and you've always just been wondering how I'm doing throughout all of this, because I was pretty vulnerable in my last couple of videos relating to this topic, kind of with my past and why I have to be sheltered right now. Obviously, the whole world is sheltered right now, but sheltered to the extreme for the foreseeable future. I didn't expect to make another video relating to COVID-19, but I have received so many DMs and questions, and I just kind of wanted to share some more of that, and I truly hope that this will be the last video that I talk about this, because it's very difficult for me to share, because I want you guys to kind of understand where I'm coming from, but I don't think you'll truly understand unless you've been in my shoes in the past. And now, granted, I haven't had COVID-19, thank the Lord, but with my past of H1N1 and things. So I talked about that in my last two videos relating to COVID-19. If you want to see what I'm talking about, you can go watch those videos. But even more has transpired since I've made those videos, and as we know, 2020 is basically canceled. Everything's being canceled this year, and we're all experiencing a lot of heartbreak and a lot of sadness and a lot of fear. It's a very unknown time in our world right now. There's so much that we don't know, and there's so much that we just wait. We just have to wait it out. And to be honest, whether you're pro or against, the reality is that COVID-19 isn't going to necessarily stop or really halt until a vaccine is developed. And again, whether you're pro or against, I don't care. I mean, I do care because it does affect me in some way. I can't change your opinion on that one topic that people are so dead set on. For the most part, they don't want to hear about it. That's all I'm going to say about that, but that's just the reality of it. My reality is I'm going to be sheltered until the vaccine comes out. Don't know, obviously, when that will be. Typically, healthcare workers and those high risk are the ones that get it first, which is a good thing. I literally research coronavirus vaccine progress every day, multiple times a day, because it's developing that quickly. My guess would be sometime in the late fall. And that's just the reality of it, because COVID-19 is simply that dangerous for me, especially given my past. It seems very daunting when I think of it like that. On the other hand, it is April already. September, October is only 5 or 6 months away, and I'm trying to stay busy. This is a time where we can all do things that we complain that we don't have time for because life gets busy. Well, life isn't busy right now for most of us. If you're not a healthcare worker on the front lines or classified as an essential worker of some kind, you're not that busy, because the whole world is basically canceled except for that group of people that I mentioned. So that being said, I am trying to stay as busy as I possibly can. I am a very social person, so to be away from people for an extended period of time is difficult for me. I do enjoy my alone time a lot more than people realize, and I also think that stems from, as a child, I talked about this in a few of my disability related videos, but as a child I always had to have somebody with me, help me with things, because I wasn't as independent, or I would have fractures and things like that, so I would always have to have somebody with me wherever I go at any point in time of the day. But now I don't need that. I'm independent, and so I do enjoy my alone time now that I am independent and I can do things on my own and take care of myself. Granted, I'm not alone because my family is here quarantined as well. Very blessed that because I'm high risk and so is the rest of my family. I'm blessed that we're in a position that we are all able to self-quarantine. It's officially been over a month since I've left the house. That's not totally unusual for me because when I have big surgeries like osteotomies and whatnot, I easily go 1 or 2 months without leaving the house. What I think is different about now and those times is that those times I don't feel the greatest. I don't feel well. I am in pain. You know, I am not in the mood to be out doing things, out with friends. You know, I like when friends come visit, but other than that, like, I'm not the physical ability to feel well enough to be out, to be social, where right now it's awkward because I am kind of in that period of those times in my life where, like, I can't go out, but the difference between those situations and now, I feel well. I am fine. I don't have any health situations that I'm dealing with at the moment that are prohibiting me from being able to go out, but there's a health threat out there that I can't see that is prohibiting me from being able to go out and live my life as well as the rest of the world. But again, I'm even more high risk and very likely that this is a virus that could cut my life short. Those times, like, it's easier to stay, so because this isn't unusual for me to have these periods of time where I'm at home for 1 to 3 months at a time again because of surgery recoveries and fractures and things like that. I haven't had a major fracture in 4 years, so it has been a while since I've had an extended time recuperating from a health situation at home. I did have a surgery in September of 2018 where I was out, not able to do things, and not able to leave the house for about a good month or two. Just different because it's all about mindset. Again, right now I feel well, and so I want to be able to do those things while I am well, and in those times of my life when I'm not well, it's easier not to want to go out because you're not feeling well. I hope that made sense. I feel like that made no sense. Again, I got makeup in my eye. I feel like it's difficult for me to articulate my thoughts. That's my reality and kind of when I'll be able to truly go out and live again. I'm just so excited for that day. I've never been so excited for a vaccine to come out in my entire life. When I had H1N1, I had gotten the vaccine the day I was released from the hospital. It came out like the day I was released. At that point, obviously, it was too late. I had already developed antibodies because I had already had it. But I got it anyways because my team was like, it can't hurt you, like, just so that we're sure you don't get it again. Obviously, once you're immune to something, it is really, really rare to get it again, but I was so close to death, we just didn't want to chance it. Right now, I don't have COVID-19, obviously. I don't have any antibodies, so I can't go out even when they lift the stay-at-home order. Like, I can't until the vaccine is out. So when that day comes, it will truly be one of the most relieving days of my life. I feel like my life is kind of this time capsule stuck in time. I don't know how to describe it, but obviously I know that they're not 100% guaranteed. But at that point, when the vaccine comes out, I can truly not live in fear of the coronavirus because at that point, I know I've done everything I can. Once that comes out, I know I've done everything there is possibly available that could ever protect myself from it. And at that point, I just have to go out and live. There's always going to be those threats. COVID-19 is just a very different virus. I've always responded well to vaccines. I never got the flu up till H1N1 because, again, H1N1 wasn't included in the vaccine at the time. So that's kind of when I'll be able to go out freely and confidently and safely. That's how I'm doing over a month quarantine, kind of when I'll be able to go out again. I know that's a common question of, say you're so high risk, so what are you going to do when the stay-at-home orders are lifted? And I've been self-quarantined before the stay-at-home orders were put into place because of that reason. That kind of brings me to my next point of my spinal fusion, well, halotraction and spinal fusion surgeries. As you guys know, I had my revision mastoidectomy surgery rescheduled even before it was mandated that elective surgeries be canceled because of my high risk of COVID-19. As of now, my halotraction and spinal fusion surgery are still scheduled. They are classified as non-elective at this time. They are not mandated to cancel them. My team doesn't want me to lose my spot once these stay-at-home orders do get lifted. The mandate that elective procedures and surgeries and appointments are lifted are going to be slamming the phone lines, trying to reschedule, and so they just don't want me losing my spot, especially since this is such a high priority. My team doesn't really want me to wait a year to do this. What is that going to look like in 2 months? With a virus like COVID-19, we really don't know what to expect. It's just too new to kind of know what course this is going to take. I talked to them about 3 weeks ago, because I'll tell you more in a minute, but I had some other things be canceled along with everybody else. When they called me to tell me about the other event that was canceled, or the other 2 events actually, I asked them again. I said, hey, like, things are kind of ramping up. Like, what do you think is like the trajectory of this being able to go on? And they said, you know, we really don't know, but we don't want to cancel it yet. We don't want you to lose your spot, and you know, you really need this. As it gets closer, we'll be able to make a more educated decision. My team and I have decided we can't make an educated decision whether or not to continue. I mean, we are going to be doing it eventually, but whether we're going to continue in June and August. My guess is it will most likely be canceled or postponed, because cases just keep rising. Michigan is one of the epicenters. We are the 3rd state in the nation with the most cases. So the thought that I live in the epicenter of this is like really scary, especially given my history. And the hospital that I'm having the surgery at is like one of the epicenters of this, because the hospital is like the best in the nation. My guess is that it's going to be postponed. There's a chance that my team could say, you know, you need this and you can't wait until the vaccine comes out. We need to get things moving. That is a very real possibility, but again, we just don't know. There's still so much with that that's up in the air. But at this point, the way that things are going, part of me hopes that it is postponed. The reason to that is like my best friend Sarah, she's like my sister, was supposed to fly in to spend time with me and be there for my 2 surgeries, and I just had a lot of friends that live down there and work at that hospital that were going to stay with me, and, well, not stay with me, but visit me and just spend time with me while I'm going through this hard time in my life. It's going to be the most difficult thing that I've ever went through, and I have a huge support system down there. I don't have like any friends really where I live up here. I have a few, but not that many. The thought of like going through the hardest physical thing I've ever will have went through besides H1N1 without the support and spirit lifting ability from friends makes me really sad. And I know it's still 2 months away, but especially now that it's April, I just feel like it's coming really quickly. The thought of going through the most difficult thing I've ever went through without friends makes me really sad. And I love my family, don't get me wrong, but there's nothing that can lift your spirits more than friends. There's just something about these group of people that I have down there that just lifts my spirit so much, and I'm so grateful to them that they're in my life. Because of H1N1 that they're in my life, that just seems really daunting to me. Not daunting, but just makes me sad. And I think unless they feel that it needs to be done in June and August, I may even request to have it postponed until the fall. Seeing the closest people in my life as I go through the most difficult thing, and having to go through this alone. Not alone because, you know, my parents and stuff, but it's just different when the closest people besides your parents aren't able to be there, and they're like my sister. You know, I was excited, not excited, but I was relieved because I knew I'd have this strong support system that would rally around me during this time. Now here we are having to distance ourselves from others, not being able to see people. I don't think I want to go through that if I can't. I know it seems petty, but it's going to be hard. Like, my friends are going to be praying with me and for me, and I need a community around me during that time because it's going to be that bad. Not that bad, but that hard. But that part of it just doesn't even seem real because I never thought that that would be a possibility. You guys posted on that as well. Thought of not having my closest support system with me during the hardest time in my life. It just makes me sad. I mean, unless there's like a crazy dramatic decrease a day, like nationally, not just like per state. Never thought that there would be like a possibility that that could be to be postponed, and we can't make an educated decision. So more to come on that, but I know that that's a common question, and I've even gotten that question from friends and family about like, hey, is your spinal surgery still on as of now? Yes, but most likely no, because even though as badly as I need this, coronavirus is even more detrimental to me. Anyways, on to the next thing, and that is some more heartbreak. We're all dealing with that right now, and you guys know I have, if you've been following me for a long time, I am a guest speaker, keynote speaker at a patient and the patient panel at the University of Michigan Medical School every single year for the past 4 years. Oh, this was going to be my 4th year. Speaking to med students at the University of Michigan Medical School alongside my orthopedic surgeon about osteogenesis imperfecta and what it's like to live with a musculoskeletal condition. And it's honestly one of the highlights of my year. You guys know that I love educating. I love educating medical students. I love my team. I love my orthopedic surgeon, and to be able to give back to her in some way, because I know it means a lot to her, just like means the world to me, and that's just a highlight of my year. And I actually filmed for the first time the whole thing last year, and I planned on doing the same thing again this year, and I was especially excited for this year because of like my back surgery and stuff, and I was gonna kind of tie in that and how my teeth is like basically gonna like save my life. And I was just really excited about the direction that my speech, I guess, was gonna go, and that is now canceled, and they're not postponing it, they are canceling it. So that was a real bummer. It's just the highlight of my year. I love it so much, and I'm bummed I won't have that video to upload for you guys this year. I loved how the one last year turned out. I truly loved it, and I think that this year my speech was gonna be even better just because of the direction that I was gonna go with it. But again, obviously that's not happening because 2020 is canceled. But I know I was going to get questions about that because I think even in a video before COVID started, I talked about like, oh, I'm like doing this again this year. And they already said that they want me back next year. So even though they had to cancel, they again already want me back next year. So that's really cool. But it was going to be my 4th consecutive year, and it's just a highlight of my year, and I was just really, really heartbroken. A huge highlight for me. I was invited to be inducted into Sigma Beta Delta. It's Sigma Beta Delta, not Sigma Delta Beta. Sigma Beta Delta, I'm pretty sure. I always get it mixed up. But it is another like National Honor Society type of thing. So I was invited by my university to be inducted into that. Like, you have to meet the certain criteria, GPA wise, I think. And then also you have to be invited by your university, like faculty or whatever. And I didn't even know this society existed. I'm part of the National Society of Leadership and Success. It's also another society that you have to be formally invited to join. So I'm part of that, and then now I'll be part of Sigma Beta Delta. So that is really cool. But the ceremony, the induction ceremony for Sigma Beta Delta was supposed to be this month, and again, that is canceled. They're not postponing that, they are canceling that. I'm still considered a lifetime member now that I'm officially like inducted, because I had to like sign up and stuff. There's just no ceremony. The ceremony is no longer happening. So that was a bummer. But I think the biggest heartbreak for me, you guys know I talk about Trails Edge Camp. It's a summer camp for children who are ventilator, CPAP, or BiPAP, or oxygen dependent at any point during the day if you're part of the Michigan Medicine Pediatric Ventilator Clinic. I was a camper there at the camp for 7 years, and then I've been volunteering for the past 3, and this was going to be my 4th year. They have had this camp. This camp has been around for 30 years. This is going to be the 31st year. They've never had to cancel this camp for any reason, and this year was the first year that they canceled, and I cried over that one because I not only cried for myself because I love it so much, even as a volunteer. I love it just as much because I remember the joy that I got to experience from the things that these kids are experiencing. To be able to watch that now as an adult is very rewarding, and to be a mentor to the kids, to kind of have a volunteer that is like them, is really cool. It's just the most important organization in my life. All of my friends are from this camp. That's basically where all of my friends stem from. It's a week that we all look forward to so much that it would most likely be canceled. I knew it would. None of us see this getting better until June, especially not being able to gather in quantities of hundreds of people. There's 32 campers and about 130 volunteers. This is the first year that they've ever had to cancel. I cried for the kids. As a camper, I never had to worry about camp being canceled because nothing crazy like this ever happened when I was a camper. And it's a week that a lot of these kids, it's their only week in their life, in their year, where it's a week of pure freedom and joy for a lot of the kids. It's their only week away from their parents because of their complex medical conditions, and to know that they won't have that this year makes me really, really, really sad. And again, even for me too, as a volunteer, it's still my favorite week of the year. These events that I've mentioned that have been canceled were going to be the last, quote, big fun things that I had planned before my back surgery. Because once I put into traction, I will be out for the rest of the year. I won't be able to do fun things. I won't be able to go places. So there's just been like a lot of heartbreak with that, and to be honest, it just doesn't even seem real because I've spent the past 10 years of my life, the first week of June at this camp. I haven't missed a year in the past 10 years. This was going to be my 11th year, and I really don't think it's going to hit any of us until the week of June when we're not all there. It doesn't even seem real. There's an argument that there's always next year. For some of the kids, yes. For most of them, yes, but for the kids that were supposed to graduate this year, I don't know if they'll be allowed to come back next year. They're like licensing rules and stuff with age. The reality that a lot of these kids have degenerative conditions and they don't always have next year. It's just a horrible situation in that sense. And I think for me and all of the volunteers and the kids, like, it's the worst thing that has come out of this for us so far that are indirectly affected. It hasn't hit me yet. I don't think it will hit me until the first week of June when I realize that it's like the first year in 10 years that I haven't, you know, that none of us are there. Like, it's canceled. So that's kind of my heart lately. I also wanted to put this out there that because of camp, of the volunteers pretty much are healthcare workers in some fashion. I have dozens of friends, like I said, that are considered my sisters. They are on the front lines of this pandemic. A lot of them are on the COVID floors treating just COVID patients, like strictly on the RICU, which is like COVID unit. And they said it's emotionally draining, and I can only imagine. And I don't want anything to happen to them, to this and that. I just wish I could do more. I'm praying for them every day, but I just wish I could do more. I wish there was physically something I could do to ease their burden, and to know that like some of the closest people in my life are on the front lines every day of this pandemic. Like, just ask that pray for them, please, because besides the immediate family, they are the closest people that I have in my life. People are more connected / involved in my life than a lot of my extended family. If you could just pray for them, that would be amazing. And just know that I'm praying for you guys and anyone that has lost a loved one from this horrible pandemic, or that are on the front lines of this in any way. Know that I'm thinking of you. I haven't posted a ton because it's difficult for me to want to post lighthearted content when I realize the magnitude of what's going on. I've been in the deep waters of a pandemic on life support, so I know what it's like. And I can tell you firsthand that there's still not enough people taking this seriously. I see Facebook posts from friends of friends that are having friends over for dinner that they don't live with, that they are letting their kids go over to their grandparents' houses. They think they're healthy. That's not the point. The point is social distancing. Like, you can carry the virus and not know that you have it. Like, there's just so many people not taking this seriously, and it's a very hard time in our world right now, and it's difficult for me to want to post lighthearted content when I realize the magnitude of this, which is why I haven't posted much. And my heart is heavy right now. As a survivor of a pandemic, you feel a lot of guilt. My heart's just heavy because of that. That's just why I haven't posted. Because it's difficult for me to just act like everything's fine when I know the state of the world right now and the state of what so many are going through. And when I had H1N1, like, that's how my family felt. Like, everybody was just going on with their life, like, while they were trying to help me fight for my life. On the other hand of me, my classes are done in 9 days. I want to start posting constantly. I think that will be good for me, stay busy, and especially now that I'll have 5 months of freedom, it'll be good for me to dive into something full-time that I've always wanted to dive full-time into, especially now being in quarantine. I literally have no excuse after classes and why I'm not filming. I think it'll be good for me to get back into it full-time, but that's why I haven't posted lately. My heart's just heavy because of what I went through. And I know that there's people that didn't have the outcome that I did. So just hard time for me as a survivor of something similar to this. Just know that when I do post content right now, it's not because I'm oblivious to what's going on in the magnitude. I'm doing it for my own sanity. As much as I wish I could fix this and fix what's happening, I can't. It's essential for me to stay, in order to stay mentally healthy, to keep my mind busy, and to do something that brings me joy, and to give myself a little bit of normalcy, because I don't have a lot of that right now. I'm grateful for the circumstances that I have right now, and I want to end it off with this. I'm seeing a lot of people complaining that they're bored, but if I could tell you one thing, I think if the most difficult thing that you are dealing with right now is boredom, you're in a good place. Because 10 years ago, if all I had to worry about was a little bit of boredom during a pandemic that nobody really took seriously, I wouldn't have had to fight for my life. Now granted, everything happens for a reason, and I'm not complaining because it led to good things and yada yada yada, but what I'm saying is, if all you have to worry about is a little bit of boredom, take that as a blessing. If all you have to worry about is being bummed that you can't go out and go to the movies with friends, take that as a blessing, because I can tell you from the closest people in my life that are intubating people that they don't know, and taking care of your loved ones and taking care of your neighbors from this, that are fighting for their lives. I think those people, the people that are fighting for their lives, would much rather have a little bit of boredom than to be on a ventilator fighting for their life. So that's kind of the perspective that I'm even using myself as I feel these emotions, to snap myself out of it. It's okay to feel frustrated and sad and anger and heartbreak and tears. Like, I've experienced all of that through this. But I'm not on social media complaining how bored I am, because that's the least of our worries right now for a lot of people. And if that's our biggest problem, we're in good shape. Just do your part and don't be the reason that somebody loses a loved one from this. Thank you guys for checking in. My perspective on this is very different than a lot of people's because of what I went through, and so I have a little bit more insight. But I've also been dealing with heartbreak, and so that's hard too. It's just not an easy time for any of us, but this too shall pass if we all do our part. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't pray for this horrible nightmare time. Thank you guys for following along on my journey, and let me know if you guys have any other questions, and thank you for praying for me through this difficult time. I feel like there was still so much I didn't mention, but my battery's almost dead. So stay home, stay healthy, and don't be the reason that somebody loses a loved one from this. Take your pride away and be part of the solution. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.